Hi guys, how you doing? Senior Gaming here, and in today's episode I'm bringing you Marriage Girls and I'll be talking runes. So if you're a Marriage Girls player or perhaps idle gamer, then make sure you subscribe to the channel as I post as often as possible and bring you best tips and advice. And if you enjoy what you see, then smash this like button as well. Right then guys, so the concept of the runes is well known across the spectrum of the RPG games, and I'm really happy that this has also landed in here. You can actually enhance every piece of gear with one singular rune, and obviously that's the currently as it stands, and increase a lot of stats by doing so. So first of all, what I want to address is obviously show you how you can get runes. So the easiest way is to head over to a shop on the very last tab, then select a summon, and then pretty much this is where you got a free chest I want to address to start off. Let's start from the bottom, as this is a common rune. And pretty much you can get this by watching ads. As you see, you can watch 3 ads a day, meaning you're gonna obtain 30 runes. And you want to come here and do it every single day. This is absolutely for free, so it's a no-brainer. If you actually tap on this percentage, this will display what chances you've got of a tier, aka grade, of the rune itself. Obviously you got a chance of getting every possible rune. There is no limitation to what quality of chest you will be opening. It's obviously the quality of the rune itself. And as you see, we've got 8 different tiers actually that you'll be able to upgrade it, and towards end of the video I'll as well display you what difference you will have between F and, for instance, SS. So as you see with the common one, the top 3 tiers are actually completely non-existent, so you got no chance of getting that. But it's a no-brainer. You want to get as many runes as possible, as you are actually able to merge them into stronger one. And I'll tell you that in just a second. So then we're going into normal. As you see in here, you'll be start spending a premium currency, which are diamonds. There is never sort of enough of that, so whatever you do in a game, you actually need some of the diamonds to complete event, or obviously summon more characters. So currently I'm still trying to focus on getting some of my characters to a 10 stars, and then I'll have to switch in between weapon and runes itself. But if we now tap on a percentage, now as you see, the A grade has been unlocked with 0.17, and we also get a chance of 0.03% of S1, and we didn't have that with a common one. And then finally, when we reach to that very premium one, if we check percentage, we doubled A, we doubled S, and there is no double S chance to get from a chest itself, as the only way to get the strongest tier of the rune is keep merging the pretty much lowest tier. And in order to do it, you need a 10 lower tier runes, and then you can upgrade it into obviously higher tier. Okay. And now when it comes to this currency, as you see, we are able to watch ads, spend some diamonds, but in here we need this special currency which is called Rune Piece. And this actually drops from a ongoing dungeon. So let me show you that straight away. So we're gonna head over to World, Event Dungeon. This was pretty much in the pipelines on the beginning of October. This is now fully finished, and it's a multiple different dungeons going, pretty much one starting and the other one's ending. So actually the one which gonna pretty much start in next 24 hours is a Witch Secret Lab, and this is where you can actually obtain these rune pieces. So bear in mind, it's gonna be open pretty much for a day, and then it will drop to the end of the queue, and you'll have to wait a few days before you're able to attend it. You need to bear in mind that you will be able to get between 5 all the way to 45 pieces per dungeon clearance. This is obviously depending on how strong you are, which level you are able to participate. And that's pretty much how you're gonna get the strongest currency to get some of these premium chests. Okay? Right, so now you know how to get some of these runes. It's time to learn obviously how to actually equip them. So I'm gonna head over to a character selection and select, let's say, Dana, and I'm gonna flick into gear. So as you currently see, pretty much I got 5 pieces of the gear, and that's always gonna be the case. And only gloves as it stands at the moment doesn't have any rune or rune socket, and I'll tell you exactly what I mean in just a second. So let me just tap on these very gloves. So when you're just starting out, you're gonna have, as you see, there is no type, which means we have not selected any type of a rune socket, and it pretty much stays blank with this very message. So in order to unlock it, we're gonna tap on it, and as you see currently I have to spend 80 diamonds to unlock first rune slot. What also means by that I can have either attacking slot, defensive, I can have skill slot, or I can have a support slot. So because we're talking Dana here, I'm talking pure damage dealer, obviously I want to maximize my damage and want to have this attack slot as possible. But because this is random, so you do not have guarantee you're gonna land it on a first shot. And as you see, the 80 is a number associated as well with the tier of the gear, and this is tier 5, it costs 80, the higher you go, the more expensive it will get. So now, for the display of this video, I don't mind actually unlocking it, so let's just see what we landed, and we have landed skill type. So just before you actually might ask the questions why actually I do not have runes, you know, across all this gear, and the reason for it is because I have quite recently unlocked a new dungeon where I can start farming tier 6 gear. Therefore, I do not want to focus massively on runes yet. I want to exchange all my gear on my characters, and there I will start it. And the reason for it, actually investing in rune sockets or extracting runes, it's pretty expensive. And I'll show you that in just a second. So for instance, if now I'm not happy with the skill time, because I mentioned Dana, I want here pure attack, no question asked, I can actually replace that by deleting a socket and drawing it again. So as you see, this is now cost 200. And because it's random, you pretty much got 25% to land this attacking rune slot. You can spend quite a lot of gems. I think for the purpose of that, I don't mind spending 200. Let's see how it goes. So again, you're going back to no type, and we expanding, and now I got support type, which means I already need to spend 400 diamonds to actually go back to square one and keep trying to land this attacking slot. And now also the reason I'm holding my breath is, as mentioned earlier, extracting costs even more. So in here I have managed to actually get into attack type. So now if I'll change into tier 6 necklace, for instance, I can either completely ditch this necklace, or I can exchange the rune into something else. But bear in mind, if let's say I want to now change attack into more defense spears, as the message on the red states, my original rune will be removed. So you won't be able to get this rune anymore. Therefore, if you're happy with a rune, pretty much C-grade, it's nothing impressive. I have not really invested into runes as mentioned earlier, and I will definitely do at some point, is that if you want to extract this rune, because 28% is pretty good, I would definitely put it into another item, you can actually extract it. An extraction of the rune, as you see, cost already 1000. There is no difference what grade you will be extracting it from the item, therefore the 1000 will always stay unchanged. But pretty much you now know where I'm coming from. The reason is that if I want to put all my runes from tier 5 into tier 6, every single one of the item will cost me 1000 diamonds, which means one character 5000 to spend just to take them out. And because the runes itself are on a pretty low level, I'm still farming, obviously trying to get them stronger. I believe by doing both at the same time, I'll be able to farm more tier 6 as well as a little bit stronger runes. Okay, so that's where we are with this particular concept of the game. So now you know, in order to actually land whatever you want, you have to select first a particular rune socket. If you're not happy, you can re-roll it. If you want to extract rune, 1000. If you just want to completely forget and change it, you can do it by replacing it, and then finally you're gonna lose that original rune. At the same time, I mentioned earlier, you can actually merge runes into stronger, and in order to do it, you need to have at least one item with one unlocked skill type. And once you actually go in here, you need this equip rune menu. So from here you need to select all, and then you got this mass synthesis. So bear in mind, sometimes if you got just handful of your strongest one, you more likely don't want to go for a mass one. You can just tap on a singular rune, and obviously how many you want to merge together, you can do it manually as well. Because let's say at the moment, as you see, I'm only pretty much on a grade C. I wouldn't like, let's say, to just merge it into one B if I can actually imply these C runes into multiple items. So that's where we are with merging runes into stronger ones as well. And now what I want to give you as well is just give you a little bit of indication of how powerful runes can actually be. So for instance, if we take example of attacking type, so basically as you've seen in here, I have a C grade with 28%, but actually if we talk attacking, you actually starting with 9.8% bonus with rank F, all the way to 120% on bonus double S. And actually, for instance, if we're talking here about boost for healing amount, you starting from 0.8% all the way to 10%. And obviously bear in mind, if you put it on a healer and if you implement that across 5 items, that's a whopping boost of 50% to giving additional heal. Or for instance, if you're talking a tank classes, you're starting with 0.6% defense to finally end on 8% enhancement of defense per item on SS rank. Alright, and lastly, obviously, what you've been all waiting for is what recommendation per class I would have gone with. So let me actually flick back out of this screen. I'm gonna go into shop and get one of these premium chests, and this is pretty much where I'm gonna have all the runes itself. So I think when it comes to tank classes, I would definitely start with a health rune, and as you see, you'll be starting here with a 98% all the way to 120%. So when it comes to tank, health rune. When it comes to DPS, I would definitely consider attacking rune as one of the best ones. You might also consider critical damage, as long as your critical rate is, I would say, at least 70 to 80%. Or for instance, you might be going with a attack speed. That will be obviously a skill type for characters like Chroma, for instance, where damage is not as important. You obviously want to cast skill as often as possible. And then finally, when it comes to any support and healers characters, there is a mana rune, attack speed. Again, the quicker you cast the skills, the more heal or support you can provide. Or as well, you could go with a heal amount give. Again, we're talking here 10%, as mentioned earlier, 5 items, additional 50% of given heal. Alright then guys, so that will be it. I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, I will see you next time.